All right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We have a great matchup for you guys here today. Vicinal versus Chads, and we've got Chads killing first on Ghostface, and we are here on Larry's, and I'm with my wonderful friend Contra. Contra, how are you doing today?
Hey, I am doing well. I hope you're doing good on this lovely Sunday as well. And I'm excited for these matchups, T, because we're all indoors today, baby. We have this Ghostface set, and then later on we have Dredge. And if it goes to a tiebreaker, we'll have Hag, which will also be on an indoor map, Midwich, excuse me. So all indoor sets today. And this first game has Chads on the killer side, and this was Chad's pick. Chad's did pick Ghostface, so we are maybe expecting to see a good performance from Dino Melon here. And T, I'm familiar with the rosters on both these teams pretty well. I'm friends with some of them. I've played against them a lot, and I think this is a very well matched set. And I'm really just excited to see what these teams have in store for us. And right now, the first chase is coming in onto Vamp, who is going to take the first tag. And as we see one of these perks revealed, T, we have Sloppy Butcher in play.
Color me shocked that there is Sloppy Butcher in play. No, Sloppy, which has become a staple favorite among the Codev community.
And yeah, we do see Sloppy a lot in these indoor sets, and I do think, especially because killers like the Ghostface don't have a whole lot of reset perks allowed against them, so that makes that Sloppy Butcher hurt so much more. They don't have anything like Body Knowledge or Empathic Connection or We'll Make It, nothing like that. So that Sloppy Butcher will make those tags count a lot more. And right now, we did see some stock come in onto this Ada as well. So Ada and Ace here are both at about 75% stock. And Bronzy, our ace player here, is in chase. And I wonder if Dino is going to chase to the injured Vamp. It looks like he actually is. He wants the injured survivor here to give him a nice quick down. And Vamp only really makes this unsafe pallet right here and has to play these 50s without help from a teammate. He will be going down, and that is the first down of the match. We see G-Bot, or Nancy player, off in the distance, about 80% on a generator. And right now, I do think that start was a little bit slow. The survivors didn't go into it super aggressively and have a very early chase, but that is a first hook coming in for Dino Melon, and we do have two survivors with a good amount of stock. So I wonder if we'll see that come into play soon as we see our first generator of the trial pop.
Yeah, I will say we didn't see as much gen progress as I would have expected necessarily. There was a point in which all three of the other survivors, other than Nancy, were all kind of in one place together. So not a ton of progress for that one hook, but still early days, still anybody's game.
Yeah, definitely. This could go either way. We are seeing the fully marked Ada there, Slasher, is going to be running for their life. And I did want to mention that Dino Melon did opt to bring the drop leg knife sheath add-on, which will give a big, I think, 10% haste for a few seconds. So that will be a very fast ghost phase after that mark. And Dino is actually looking to translate this into a down. They are going to commit to Slasher here, who is running down the map. And we do have the infamous library god palette, which I'm sure Slasher will use here. So that does go down, and they are extending this chase quite a bit. That stock has gone down to about 30%, so they might be outrunning this. Slasher is holding this check spot, being very patient, but Dynamo is left. I think he realized that if Slasher keeps playing safe, then they won't get insta-downed. So very, very good job to Slasher there for dropping that god palette and just taking their distance. And right now, a lot of Dino Melon's suppression has kind of gone away. We have everybody healthy, and we do have one survivor that is kind of close to being stalked. We have Bronzy, who's about 70%. But other than that, Dino doesn't have a whole lot to show for the start. We've already lost one generator, and I think Vicinal is doing a pretty good job here at making sure they stay in control of this trial.
Yeah, everyone playing quite safe and avoiding taking, unnecessary chases as the just missing out on the Renato, who I imagine we're going to be potentially going for another quick down on, maybe not. Instead, going to be opting to chase survivors off the center gen and maybe go for an additional tag and some stock here.
Yeah, we do see a lot of that happen a lot in these Ghostface sets, these injuries, and kind of like you see Ghostface play have almost like a hit or run play style, especially with Sloppy Butcher, and it's very, very dangerous for the survivors if they don't manage that properly, because when they're going against a stealth killer like the Ghostface, and they're staying injured, they pretty much can't do anything safely. They most of the time these high level teams will not touch any generators or do anything if they don't know where the killer is, and they'll reset in these safe spots near some safe resources. And Slasher is going to take a tag there to help Gbot make some distance, who is exposed, but that is a sloppy butcher applied to Ada yet again. So that is definitely not going to be something that the survivors get completely for free. They will have to reset through that, and we are seeing the stock onto our Hanatu player Vamp come in there. Another about 70% stock before Dino got broken out. And I mean, we have one generator to pop, one hook stage on the board, and a couple injuries. I do think right now it doesn't look like Dino has a lot going for him, but this is exactly what I was about to say. Finding a reset, anything like that could turn this game around. Now we have 3 injuries, and our one healthy survivor is... If they have 70% stock, some people say a 99 stock is almost like an injury that you can't heal, and that could be very dangerous. Right now, Dino, I think if he's able to get it down shortly, he could change the momentum a little bit and gain control.
Yeah, absolutely. Survivor's still doing everything they can to avoid that, but Dino definitely in a better position than he was a minute ago. Here's some gen progress, but not finding anyone right off the bat. Oh, but he does find them. And a really nice head-on play from our survivors there. But he is going to be on to the ace, the only uninjured survivor here. Hopefully they're going for a reset somewhere. I imagine they must be.
Yes, the survivors do need to reset, and Dino, we noticed that Dino wasn't really checking on top of those generators. He was looking more towards the edges of the map, maybe where some pallets are, because he knew they would be resetting. Whenever you have all these injuries, you can't really progress the objective on the survivor side, because it's just, like I said, it's just unsafe to do everything. And Bronzy is getting a little bit more stock. He's about 85-90% on that stock. So next time Bronzy gets caught out, if Dino has his power up, it could be a very dangerous insta down. So Bronzy does have to play very careful. And this is one of those things where if Bronzy is aware of his stock, he will definitely play very safe. If he realized earlier that he was being stalked, and now again, Bronzy probably has a good idea that he is close to being 99. And right now in the HUD, we see everybody else has been healed. So we will probably see the survivors attack these generators again soon. And like I said, every time the ghost face is not in chase or the survivors don't have eyes on him, these survivors are always on their feet and just playing carefully. But it looks like that is happening. Bronzy does get caught out, and that is a mark. And Dino has that 10% haste, I believe, for a whole 5 seconds, and that gives him the down here. He couldn't make that god pallet. T. Do you think we might see a pallet save here? He did go down underneath that pallet.
I don't know. It seems like possibly, but I think Dino's got other things on his mind right now. He knows the Renato is still over here. He definitely saw him. I don't know that we are going to see a save. We could see a pickup potentially, but I'm not. Oh, and that is exactly the kind of turnaround that Dino needed so desperately here. I did want to point out also that, survivors not got a lot of gen progress going. They had been avoiding hooks really well, though, up until this point, taking good chases, but their resources are definitely starting to dwindle. A lot of the god pallets are gone already. So as this match goes on, if they're not getting gen progress done, they're going to be in a really big load of trouble, frankly.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And we did see Dino walk past that hook and opt to hook Vamp, our Hanatu player, on that hook further up the map. And I believe that's because Dino has a lot of gens there that he might want to hold. So that was a good hook position. We only see 2 generators at the bottom side of the map here, and Dino doesn't care about that too much. And Cheapot getting caught out here, maybe didn't notice him and does take an injury. But Vamp, our Hanatu player, getting a little caught out around this room, and just sending it through the doorway and getting a mind game when he was marked, I do think was a very, very big change of momentum, because that just gave Dino a second hook stage on a survivor, and now maybe we're looking at an elimination coming in soon. So that little mistake could have a very, very big punishment. And as we see Vamp getting unhooked right now, it's one of those things I normally criticize teams for if they unhook fast, because Vamp's Vamp still had about 30 seconds left on that hook. That hook timer was not really close to dying, but all the survivors were injured at the time, and you just have to take whatever opportunity you can to get this on hook. And I think Vicinal knew this was the only chance they had to save. And unfortunately for Vicinal, Vamp has gone back down. There isn't many very safe pallets left up here in this corner of the map, and we have a death at 4 gens T.
Yeah, Dino just having a really strong comeback, doing a phenomenal job of managing these survivors, keeping them off of gens, keeping them from getting these resets, punishing them for these hook rescues. Just really kind of has this match in hand right now. Survivor's definitely in a really very difficult position, especially now that there's only 3 of them left and they have 4 gens left to do.
Yep, definitely. And we are seeing another pain resonance come in on Nancy there. We did see the damage generator prompt come in after that hook, and 2 tokens of pain resonance have been used so far. So that is some more aggression Dino is getting right now. And I think we're starting to see why Chad's picked Ghostface. Dino is playing around his perks very well, getting a lot of value from Sloppy Butcher, getting a lot of value from these pain res hooks, and managed to play his chases well enough to get a death at 4 gens. And right now, T, in the 3v1, it's not impossible to see some more generators pop. We have seen a lot of cases of survivor teams coming back and getting a lot done after they have a survivor dead. But right now, I don't know if this will be one of those situations. We have 2 injuries right now. We have Sloppy Butcher in play, and there might be another perk that Dino has to slow down these gens. Hex Ruin is still up, so you can't forget that. Every time these survivors are leaving these generators, Ruin will passively regress them, and if they have to go through these resets with Sloppy, that's even more Ruin value. So I don't want to count anyone out here, but Vicinal is definitely feeling the pressure right now, and I think they will have to fight really hard to even get one more generator done.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Dino kind of playing like a machine here, just not making any mistakes. And again, TBD, it's a game of who makes more mistakes, and Dino's just not. He is on top of it. He is, like I said, he's managing everything incredibly well. Survivors have so much work to do. I don't imagine. I mean, we could see another generator go. There was one that had some decent progress, but we just passed by it, and Ruin has definitely taken a toll. So I don't know that we see another generator go here, which would be a really, really strong start for Chads. It would definitely set them up for a really good second round.
Yeah, I agree. And this generator here that we just saw Dino kick does have a good amount of progress. It was about maybe 35-40%, but that is a -5% on that kick and an eruption laid down. I think that was the first case of the anti-camp bar or anti-camp mechanic going in, so I think that was the 4th regression event. But Slasher, our Ada player here, is fully 99'd. We did see that stock come in, and Ada will be going down instantly if Dino catches them out with their power up. So very dangerous spot for Ada to be in. I think they definitely know that they're 99 and have to play safe, and basically kind of like I mentioned earlier, that's like an injury you can't heal. Slasher will not have 2 health states, so right now I think pretty much everybody's injured. Even though Ada's healthy, she is going to be able to get insta downed, and we have eruption on 2 of these generators. So if Dino's able to find a down anytime in the near future, these gens will be regressed even more, and if it happens to be on Ace, the game might be a 2v1. So Chads might be looking at a very, very strong killer result here, and it's just all up to Dino to find a down.
Oh.
And uh-oh. G-Bot got caught out a little bit, and will be taking that down. And T, that's a double eruption to -10% on both those gens.
Jeez. This is wild. Honestly, I'm so glad I only play pubs. If I were in this match, I would be so scared right now, because Dino is just doing it. He is doing a phenomenal job here. Gonna be heading back towards this gen over here. But like you said, Ada is also, for all intents and purposes, injured. This is a really, really bad position. I'm not sure how they can manage a rescue here. Well, like that, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they did have to send it in early. Like I said before, they're taking any opportunity they have to get these unhooks. They can't be too patient or wait it out all the way at the very end. And the unhook does come in, but Bronzy will be going down. And Bronzy, our ace player, is death hooked here. This might be a pallet save. Ooh, nope, not quite. Dino swung out just to be safe, and this should be a second death. Unless I can't count, I think Ace is dead here. Yep. So that is now officially going to make this game a 2v1. But one of those survivors did pop that generator at the bottom. So T, they did manage to pop one more generator and a 4K3. Even though it's still very, very difficult to be on the killer side, is a lot more manageable than a 4K4. So I do think Vicinal should be happy that they got that generator done before they all, flop over and die, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. They've definitely given themselves a chance in this set with that. Gonna be going in hard on that Ada though now. Yeah. Woo. They popped that generator just in time too, because I have a feeling I think we're in end game at this point, and I can't. Oh my god, this gen is so close though.
Oh, it was very close.
Wow.
Yeah, we did see earlier in the game that Vicinal survivors were pressuring. I believe it was the same generator here at the very top, as well as that generator that we just saw pop a minute ago. And that was no accident. They were trying to pressure two gens that were very, very far away. And I do think they could have popped this gen if Slashers chase the Ada player. If their chase lasted just a little bit longer, maybe
Yeah.
even just 5 or 10 seconds, that might have bought Nancy enough time to pop that last gen. But Dino was able to secure that first down here pretty quickly, and it is going to be a 4K3. I mean, that's tough, but this is better for Vicinal survivors than a 4K4. So at least they can go to the killer game, and they can maybe try and tie this to the 4K3. But that will be so difficult. And Dino here just got such a good result for Chads, and is just looking for these slugs right now. It is worth noting that the priority for these win conditions is generators and then hooks and then fresh hooks. So
Yeah.
unless a fresh hook survivor bleeds out, it won't really matter. I believe Ada hasn't been hooked before, and there's 4 hook stages left to give. I think there's 1 left on Nancy and 3 left on Ada. So really the only thing that would affect this win condition is if that fresh hook Ada bleeds out, because that would make a 4K3 on the other side a win, because the Chads and Dino Melon would lose this fresh. So they might be playing to bleed Ada out. I think that's where their head is at right now. And
Yeah.
honestly, T, it doesn't sound significant, but if the Vicinal killer is able to perform just as good as Dino here and get a 4K3, that bleed out might make the difference.
No, absolutely. And that's kind of the thing about comp is everything comes down to points, and a lot of the decisions you make, you have to just make based on, is this going to give me the most points or not? Do I leave this person to die on hook so that I can get my generator done? Do we try and get this person to bleed out to deny them points? So I think you're 100% right. I think that's what Vicinal is going for here, and so far doing a great job of hiding the Ada.
Oh,
Caster's Curse, man. Wow. You know what, Vicinal? I'll accept fault on that one. I'm sorry, man. That was my bad.
To their credit, I do think that was a very, very unique hiding spot that Slasher chose to hide, and I think that could have worked. That they were just tucked away in that little, shower stall or whatever that is in that room, and almost made it work. Not quite, but you had to try for something, right? They had to go for it. Dino checked the obvious spots. We saw Slasher crawl there instead of somewhere like basement, because a lot of people do that, and it's a little bit obvious. We saw Dino check the basement a little bit earlier, in fact. So I respect the spot that Slasher chose. It definitely could have worked, but we didn't see it. And then we have G-Bot all the way over here outside by an exit gate, but not going to get bled out. That wouldn't matter because they have been hooked anyways already. But Dino setting up a cinematic Mori here, T, in the middle of this exit gate. We're about to see this iconic ghost face Mori.
I was gonna say we're being treated to what many would call the best Mori in the game. Oh wait, no camera. Oh man.
Oh, no.
Disappointing. That's so sad.
Oh, Danny Johnson forgot his camera.
Yeah, man, he was just...
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We are back with our first set of this matchup for Vicinal versus Chads. Last trial, we did see Dino kill for Team Chads and get a 4K at 3 generators remaining. So now we switch over. We have Vicinal killing against these Chads survivors. And G-Bot will have to secure a win for the set. This will have to be a 4K4 or a 4K3 to tie. So like we mentioned earlier, a very, very tall ask for this win condition. But, nothing's impossible. We could see really anything this game, but G-Bot does have to pull out a big performance here to meet this win condition. So I'm excited to see what both of these teams have in stock. T, do you think Chads on the survivor side here will play very slow and safe like we normally see teams play, or do you think they'll just play aggressively to pop those 3 gens and then nothing else matters after that? What kind of performance from the survivor side do you think we should expect here?
I don't know. I think that they could just kind of go for it, just kind of send it. We did just see the Dwight going over to it seemed like try and take chase from the Natu just now. Also, we did see that Ruin Totem not in a super great place. Kind of an obvious. Oh yeah, that Dwight's looking for trouble for sure. Also, I do want to point out that you said see what I think you said see what the survivors have in stock instead of have in store, which I thought was very funny, and I want to know if that was intentional.
You know, it was definitely intentional, and I never make mistakes ever. And I said stalk because it's a ghost face who stalks, and don't you think any different?
No, 100%. Yeah, but
But
you are right. Gbot does have a pretty big ask. It's not impossible, but it's going to be difficult. And these survivors are not messing around. You know, they had a really good first round in the set, and they're probably coming into this round feeling pretty confident. And sometimes that's what you need. You know.
oh yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. A big part of competing in tournaments, really in any kind of tournament, but of course DBD included, we do see that first generator pop on the bottom side of the map. But a big part of performing here is the mental. And if you don't have good morale going into these games, and if you feel defeated and unmotivated because of a rough match right before the one you're currently playing, it can be very easy to just let things slide and snowball into an even worse second game. So it's very important for Vicinal and right now Gbot on the killer side here to just keep it together, just try and play a solid game. And even if they don't meet the win condition here, I don't think their team really expects them to. It is very difficult. And the biggest thing that matters is that all of them are able to just keep their mental okay and perform at their best
Yeah.
and not let it get to them. So I do think if Vicinal can do that, then this could still go either way. We could see anything happen in this matchup here. We still do have another set to go, and then maybe a tiebreaker afterwards. But I'm getting back to this trial. That was a good swing that hit Dino, so that is another tag.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would like to see some injuries happen here. That would be, you know, encouraging. Because this Dwight so far given Gbot the business. Oh, and it is Dino who was our killer in the last round. Yeah, just going for broke. I think these survivors are gonna just pop that last gen and call it a day. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
this is really hard. I don't know that what Gbot can do at this point. I think they've lost too much time.
yep. Unless the survivors make some kind of huge mistake right now, I mean, this game is out of Gbot's control. They've already popped those two generators and achieved that tie condition, and all they need right now is just one more for the win. And Gbot is continuing the chase on Dino here, who is going to drop this pallet. And we saw Dino on the killer side just instantly break this last game. But Gbot wants to play it. He wants to maybe force Dino to make a mistake here. And Dino looking like he knows the checks box for this pallet. And on same ping, if you're patient and know the checks here, it is almost like a god pallet. If you vault at the right times, you won't get hit. And Dino playing that pretty well, getting away from it without going down. But does get caught out a little bit here with a medium vault, and he gets hit through it. So that is our first down of the trial.
Yeah, I was gonna say, question, who is the killer here? Because I feel like up until this point, uh, Dino has really been running the show. I mean, from the beginning, kind of luring Gbot into that initial chase, and then just running them all over God's green earth here. I think conspiracy theory. I think Dino is still the killer in this game.
You know, you might just be right. And Dino did have a good chase there and bought a good amount of time for Team Chads, but it's still. I want to say, okay, the win condition has already been met. We have seen 3 generators pop, but if you look at the HUD, Gbot does have that ace player Z Slasher 99, and we do have a good amount of stock on these other 2 survivors. And if the survivors just start playing a little more aggressively or not as patient as they need to be, I can definitely see this game snowball into still a good result for Vicinal. Of course, it won't really change the outcome of this set, but it might be good for Vicinal's spirits and for Gbot to still get a good result here. And we do see the mark come in onto Finesse, who does get downed. And Gbot's just going to take that pickup and drag him all the way to this hook. And the 4th generator has popped T. Chads is not messing around with this generator pressure.
No, not at all. They have just been, you know, they've said, you know what, you guys take chase. We're going to sit down and do gens. And honestly, I love that for them. But I think at this point, you know, Gbot and Vicinal are already going to be thinking forward to that next round. As you said, this one is lost. They do need to have, they need to have, for the mental, a good result here. I don't know if they're going to get it, if I'm being honest. This is a really tough position. There's 1 gen left. No one's on death hook at this point. I mean, Gbot has to pull out some kind of big snowball to bring this back, because I think at this point we're looking at outs for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's nobody, like I said, there's nobody on Death Hook. There's no threat of a tunnel out happening here. And if the survivors can keep this game a 4v1, then that would be very good for them, because they will always be able to pressure those gens and make sure they have some survivor doing something. And to make it even better for the survivors here, Ruin has already been cleansed. Did get cleansed earlier in the trial, so that is -1 perk for Gbot here, and there isn't going to be any more passive aggression that we saw earlier in the game. So Z Slasher now is being chased, and I think Gbot just knows it's too late to tunnel. He doesn't really have an opportunity to, and probably just trying to spread the pressure. He wants fresh hooks here. He has 2 fresh hooks, and maybe is chasing Z Slasher here for a pain resonance to get some more aggression. And Z Slasher doing a good job, does get that pallet stun, is taking his distance and holding W down there and forcing Gbot to leave. And Gbot left that chase without really getting anything. We didn't get a down, we didn't get a hook, and the survivors are still free to work these gens up here. So right now, Chads is looking very strong. Dame maybe unaware of that stock coming in. He is 99, and I wonder if we'll see him go down here.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, this is tough for sure. Sorry, I had something I was going to say, and now I don't remember what it was. Other than, yeah, you know, we didn't really get anything out of that last chase, which is going to make this incredibly difficult. Survivors have just been running this game kind of from the start. Chat's playing out of their mind today, doing a really great job surviving and killing. However, I will say we've seen Vicinal play a lot on Codif, and they are a really good team. I would not count them out for going to a tiebreaker set, potentially, even though this round, you know, is clearly, it's done. But they are a good team, and you know, they're one of my favorites. So I will always believe in Vicinal.
Oh yeah, of course. And we did just see that Finesse, our Quentin player, did take the down for Dame or Hinatu to make some more distance there, and that might help him make the exit gate. And I think Dame is out. And T, that might have looked a little pointless, but Dame was a fresh hook survivor that would have awarded Vicinal 3 hook stages if he got the down on Dame and he died. But Finesse has been hooked before, so this Mori will only reward 2 more hooks worth of points. So that, if I'm not mistaken, is just a 4 hook stage game. We have Quentin who's dead, and then Dwight or Dino Melon, who was hooked once. So that's just I believe just a 4 hook stage game here, and very good results for Chads both on the survivor and killer side.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the second set of this exciting match, Vicinal versus Chads. This time Vicinal gonna be killing first. We have Dredge on Hawkins. Chads starting off with a pretty dominating first set, but moving into the second one, I think, again, we've reset. It's kind of everyone's game. Vicinal with a really quick first find. How are you feeling about this round, Contra?
So I'm feeling like we're going to see something a little bit different from Vicinal this time around. As you mentioned, that first injury came in pretty early, and we already have a first down T. And this is what I was talking about a little bit behind the scenes before this game started. Vamp is a pretty experienced Dredge player, and has shown to play this killer pretty well. And we are seeing an early first down and an early basement hook here at the start of this trial. And Chads, with that very, very strong first performance and that first set, should feel pretty good about how they played. But it's important that they don't get too confident and underestimate Vicinal here, because Vamp is not a pushover Dredge player. This is going to be, I think, a very good killer performance we will witness. And we are seeing the second chase come in onto Dame with the Nightfall slowly charging up about halfway now. And T, I think with a hook that early, I'm almost thinking, unless Vamp messes up somehow here, this is going to be a high hook stage game. They should be able to get a tunnel out sometime soon with a hook that early. And now we already have an injury with a sloppy butcher tag.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. One of the words that I've used to describe Vicinal in the past is scrappy and plucky. And sometimes when you think that they are down and out, that is when they really, really shine. And as you said, Vamp is a very experienced Dredge player. So I'm expecting, like you said, a high hook count game that moves fairly quickly, because Dredge games kind of tend to go quick.
Yeah, definitely. We are seeing one of the perks on Finesse here, Lucky Break, and I I lost Finesse for a little bit there, and I think so did Vamp, but does find him again and is playing this palette, does win the little mind game here. Not the safest palette in the game, and Finesse will be getting picked up and put on his second hook, and right now this is a Death Hook Survivor at 5 gens. They are about to pop that first one in the portal room, but we might see a pain res. That is a pain res. So that first hook was in the basement. We did save
Oh,
that pain resonance token. So 2 generators still have a lot of progress, T, but Vamp, I think, has a phenomenal start here. He has an opportunity to make this game a 3v1 pretty soon.
yeah, absolutely. Going ahead and unlocking that locker there just to prevent any problems in the future. It's an injured Ace, but choosing to go after the Nadu instead. Little bit of a miss there. And coming back into that, yeah, no, they're leaving that room. That room is a kind of a pain in the butt to run.
Oh yeah, some of these Hawkins rooms are deceivingly strong. They can be a little bit annoying to play as a killer who doesn't have a very good anti-loop power. And we are seeing a survivor sending it up the stairs to unhook Cheryl, Finesse, our Cheryl player here, and that was Dame, and does make it quick enough to make sure this wasn't a trade. But Dame does get injured for it with a sloppy butcher applied, and so it's not completely for free. But a good body block by Dame there, making sure that Finesse can be escorted out of that tight little stairway. And he does make some distance. I think Vamp might have teleported to the wrong locker by accident or got
Yeah, I
lost a
think you're
little bit.
right.
But he is back on their trail. And Dino gave Finesse for the people there. So we have an injured Dino Melon, but the tunnel out, which is Finesse, can get out of here scot-free. I think he just sent it across the map, and we might see Finesse play very slow, because if Chad's has an elimination, this could
Oh,
look sketchy. Greed from Dame. T, this game has gone
wow.
off the rails. There's so much going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, not to mention that Dino went down right in front of that totem in the long room over there, so that's definitely going to be called out pretty quickly. But wow, 2 slugs down for the people. This is, like I said, these games move fast. Dredge matches move really quickly. I think you were right about that locker a little bit ago. I think he I don't think there was an optimal locker to get him to where he wanted to go, so he took the one that was closest but got a little bit lost there. The locker spread on this map can be a little bit tricky. Uh, but yeah, it's Vamp in a really good spot here. They have gotten the pickup though on Dino.
This is risky. I think I know what Vamp is
Yeah.
doing. Vamp is just looking around for Finesse because he wants to get his tunnel out secured, but Finesse is playing slow. He's hiding, and Vamp can't find him, and he let Dino get picked up for free. And
Yeah.
we do have Dame still on the ground here, and he is going to pick, because if Vamp keeps looking and doesn't find Finesse, it's a losing battle. He will just lose more time, and they'll get more generators done for it. So that is a hook onto Dame here. It's our third hook of the trial. But I will say that for the people that Dino did, and Finesse just sending it out of there and not getting found, was, I think, a pivotal turning point here, because they're able to, the Chad survivors here are able to keep this game a 4v1, and that is what they need to get a good result here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, unfortunately, Vamp taking a bit of a risk, leaving those 2 slugs and not hooking anybody. And I don't know that that will pay off in the long run, but it's kind of one of those high risk, high reward plays. Sometimes that is absolutely the right thing to do. You get lucky, you find who you're looking for. But in this instance, I don't think that that was the case. And I am not sure that in the long run that is going to pay off, because we still haven't found Finesse and we're spending a lot of time looking for them.
Oh yeah, and I will say, this is what I love seeing from Dredge, with people who know how his power works. Vamp knows that when he's in Nightfall, either when he teleports to a locker or back to his remnant, he gets Killer Instinct around him, and actually use that to find that Survivor's stealthing edge on the edge of the map there, and got an injury. So Vamp using the tracking part of the Dredge's kit very well, and finds a reset here. Worth noting that Sloppy Butcher is in play, so I believe that heal will be regressing, and now we have 3 injuries on the board. Nightfall is coming to an end, but I think we are seeing maybe a second down coming in onto Dame here. And if he doesn't make this pallet, he didn't, he's down. I think we might see Vamp translate that tunnel from Finesse onto Dame, because actually, I take it back. He found Finesse. He found him. I think we're going to see a little tunnel vision here.
I think you are 100% right. I think Finesse's days are potentially numbered, but that was a bit of a whiff there. Not going to be heading upstairs here. Going to be going for any pallet that is available. Are we going to... Oh, no, we didn't. I was going to say, I hope Finesse is not going for that pickup because that sure would be a choice. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
Finesse...
would be very sketchy.
Yeah, Finesse getting away. Still injured, though. Vamp in a good spot. Still, a third gen has not popped, so they've still got some time to work with things. But I do wonder, you know, what do they have going on in the background in terms of gen pressure right now?
Yep, that is the question. And right now, I feel like with Ruin still being up, and we did get 2 Pain Resonance stacks being used, I don't think we will see a lot of generators pop soon. There might be one that has some progress. We do see this one at about 40% as the unhook onto Dame comes in. But right now, if I'm Vamp, I know I have 4 hooks. I have 2 on 2 different survivors, and I just need to chase one of them. If I can chase one of them and kill them, this is a good game
Nice.
for me. Dino does go down here, but we're in Nightfall. We're going to see Vamp slug. We see this so much with the Dredge in Nightfall. If they have a lot of time left in that power, they will slug and go for more plays. And we saw some
Oh!
aura reading from Undying there that
Oh
showed
my
Dame, but he
gosh.
finds Finesse again, and that is 2 slugs in the same
Wow.
spot. And Finesse is dead. There's no pallet save here. He got vacuumed out, and now the game is a 3v1t. Vamp might be on a roll here and can turn this game back around.
That was huge. That Nightfall was a game changer, potentially. We still have Dino down. Ace injured now. Man, Vamp is just on a roll, absolutely capitalizing on that Nightfall scenario, getting a ton of value out of that. And still another gen has not popped. So, yeah, Survivor's in a really, really difficult position.
I love how Vamp is playing this, and this Dredge sets are just so explosive. You know, we just saw Vamp had such a good start, and then he lost his tunnel out, and it slowed down a little bit. We thought these survivors were going to take control of the game, maybe for the rest of the trial, but then Vamp found the tunnel out, made this game a 3v1, and right now, all the perks are still at Vamp's disposal. We still have Ruin and Undying back up. So these survivors probably don't even have enough time to try and get rid of Ruin. They have to go through 2 totems and worry about healing and getting gens done. And I just don't think it's on the top of the priority list. So they are feeling the pressure right now. And we find 2 survivors here in the corner right now. Like Vamp, I think has done such a good job at utilizing the mobility of the Nightfall that Dredge has whenever it comes back, and then just translating these slugs into so much pressure with Ruin, especially still being up. Dame has gone down yet again, but Vamp isn't picking. He wants more. He wants to find, I think it was Ace, who was with Dame earlier, and doesn't find him yet, but Chads is going to have to fight really hard to just pop another generator here, I think.
Yeah, they do manage to get that Gloatum done, though. But yeah, I mean, Vamp just has such a commanding control of this game right now. You know, they have been doing a lot of slugging, which at one point we weren't really sure was going to pay off for them. But that in and of itself, I think, has kind of been a little bit of pressure on gens because it's meant that they can't just sit. Someone has to go pick up or someone has to reset. So I think that Vamp is doing exactly what they need to be doing. And now we are down to 2 survivors. That gen is so close, but I do not think we're going to see it pop. Heading right for Dino. Dino and Z both injured at this point. This could be a very swift conclusion to this match, and I think it will be.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if Dino has a good chase here, then we will see this generator pop, and Chads could walk away with at least a 4K2. But if he goes down, then I'm not so sure that this generator can be defended by Vamp. There's only 1 survivor left that's able to run around and do anything. And Z-Slasher not only has to hide while he's injured, but he has to hide during Nightfall. And Vamp can just teleport around, use that Remnant as well to try and get Killer Instinct. So Vamp knows by process of elimination that Z-Slasher is not in this area, and he's going to keep looking around. Dino Melon does get picked, though. No Unbreakable or anything like that is allowed. So he knows Z-Slasher picked him up and is going to go back, does see them in the distance, or saw somebody in the distance down in that hallway, but catches Dino out here and is going to use the Remnant here, try and get a fast down. And as long as Vamp doesn't get ran right now, he should be able to defend all the remaining gens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Vamp has just played this really beautifully. As I said, Vicinal, they are scrappy. They are a scrappy team. They do some of their best work when they are under the gun. And that first set, as poorly as it went for them, that is as good as this set is going for them right now. They are a really strong team. And Chad's, I don't know if Chad's got maybe a little bit comfortable, a little bit complacent because they had a really strong first round, but Vicinal is definitely putting them in their place. Vamp is saying, no, 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 this is my round. I chose this killer, and I am here to make you pay.
Oh, definitely. We are seeing the contrast in how these games are going because I couldn't have said it better myself. This is their round. Vicinal is a very dangerous team when you're talking about a dredge set. So Vamp showing us exactly why. Does respect that PAL a little bit. Z Slasher is going to make the window, and that stagger did stop him from making distance there, so is going to go down. And right now, I do think it is worth noting that we have 6 hooks and 2 eliminations, which means both of these survivors on the ground have not been hooked at all. And Dynamelon is about 1 minute away, maybe even less than that, from bleeding out. So if we have a bleed out here, kind of like I mentioned last game, that could affect the win condition for the second trial just a little bit. If it ends up being a 4K3 and one team has a bleed out, then that could result in a loss rather than a tie. But right now, it's just up to Vamp to find Dino. He has about 30 or so seconds left and no Nightfall. He can't get Killer Instinct. Dino might bleed out. This is kind of a big map, and if Vamp doesn't find something soon, I think he might lose out on this fresh hook.
Yeah, that is incredibly unfortunate, but I don't know that there was another option for Vamp, when he downed Dino. So as unfortunate as it is, I do think we are going to see this bleed out happen. And now all we can do is get back to Z and get him on a hook. That is really unfortunate. That is a decent loss of points there for Vamp, but still in a really, really strong position going into the next round. Set their survivor squad really up for success. So not an impossible ask by any means, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they perform in the next half of this set.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, even though we did see that one fresh hook being lost from Dynamelon bleeding out, if you're Vicinal, it doesn't change a whole lot because the win condition for you will still be to just pop 3 generators. If they pop 3 generators, then they will still take the set, even though they lost out on 1, maybe potentially 2 fresh hooks being lost if Z Slasher also bleeds out. But Vamp actually finds them, so it's actually just going to be 1. But still, if Vicinal is able to pop 3 generators and just die at 2 gens left, that would still be a win. It would only really impact things if it's 3 gens left. So not a huge deal, but Vicinal definitely has to play careful. If they have a sloppy start, they need to make sure they can survive long enough to just pop 3 gens. As we are seeing our second Mori of this matchup. Poor Z Slasher getting eaten by the Dredge there. But T, I had a lot of fun watching this game. And in just a couple minutes, for the audience out there, we will switch sides here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We are back with set number 2 of Vicinal versus Chads. And the last trial, we did see Vicinal on the killer side. We had Vamp play and got a 4K at 3 generators remaining. So a very, very strong killer result for Vicinal, kind of like we saw Chads get on the Ghostface, which was their pick. And Dino playing Dredge here for Chads and does get a little jump scared by a pallet there. Somebody did drop a plank of wood in his face and is going to just teleport away and leave. And now the first chase is coming in onto Bronzy. And T, what kind of playstyle do you think we might expect Dynamelon to have here to meet this very strict win condition? Do you think we might see some aggressive plays here?
I think Dino is going to go play kind of fast and loose with this. I think that they are just going to play pretty aggressive. I feel like that is the kind of playstyle that we see from Dino most often. And, they had a really great first set. They kind of had a rough beginning to this second set. And, Dino's got something to prove here. So I think Dino's going to be going for it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And we did see Bronzy get injured, and Dino did leave the chase. And a good firecracker from Slasher there, our Ada player, will be using that to get a little bit more distance and just holding forward through this room, playing their distance very well. they know they don't have to drop any pallet yet if they have all assistance, but didn't quite make this filler here and after the hallway, so they are going to be injured as well. And we are seeing Sloppy Butcher in play, so both of those injuries are going to mean a lot. These survivors will have to spend more time resetting, but the first generator has already popped, and if Dino Melon is playing to win, then that's the only generator he can afford to lose here.
Yeah, absolutely. Dino Melon definitely has their work cut out for them, but like I said, I think they're going to be playing really aggressive here. I think we're going to see this Ada go down, and that is going to be a first hook for Chad's side. Vicinal managing to get that first generator down. Wonder what they've got else going on. Dino opting to slug the Ada, though. Get a little bit of information, use this Nightfall to its fullest potential. Ooh, and we could be
Yep.
seeing Vicinal get into a little bit of a tricky situation here.
Yeah, and normally you might think it's weird to get slug there, but you also have to consider that Dino doesn't have a lot of time. You might think that he would want to pick for pain res or something like that, but with Nightfall being up right now, he has to get as much value from it as he can. He has to chain these downs. We are seeing the slug come in onto Bronzy, our ace player, as well, and these locked lockers coming into play, they are preventing Dino from getting out instantly and buying these survivors this much needed distance to avoid getting hit.
Mhm.
And right now, Nightfall is going to end in just a few seconds here. And Dino doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. He got one slug, which got picked up and fully healed. And now he has another slug on the ground. So that first one was almost void. It's the same result here. And still leaving them on the ground, chasing Slasher here, our Ada player. And the slug got picked up. Rodzi is now back on his feet and moving around. And Dino has to make something happen. And I do think the idea is right. He definitely does have to move around, be mobile, try and chain this pressure together. But Vicinal is staying a little bit ahead of him. They are getting these resets off and not letting him snowball.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say Vicinal is going through a lot of resources, and unlike Vamp, Dino is opting to break pretty much every pallet that they throw. You know, maybe hoping that, if they can prevent some gen progress long enough, those resources will have dwindled enough that they can just kind of snowball from there. But that's a bit of a risky play, as Vicinal seems to be playing pretty smartly. And these locked lockers certainly are not helping Dino's cause, losing a couple of seconds every time. That is a second generator gone. Vicinal playing really well here. Dino still having it all to do.
Yep, so we have officially reached the tie condition, and right now, well, I guess technically not the tie condition because there was a bleed out happen on a fresh hook survivor. So right now, I mean, if Dino Melon kills all the survivors right now and gets the fresh hook on all of them, it could technically be a win, but these survivors have some progress here on that generator Dino walked by, and on top of all four survivors being still in the trial and there not being any tunnel outlets happen, everybody's healthy and we're not in Nightfall. So for Dino to make something happen here, he does need to work some magic, and it looks like he is going to chase Bronzy here for a second, is going to be running through this hallway. And is there a pallet left in this room for him to use? There is not. Both these resources are gone, and you're kind of right. Earlier you mentioned that a lot of these resources are being used. Dino's breaking a lot of these pallets, and now a lot of these survivors, if they're getting caught out and running away, they might not have a safe place to run to.
No, but we do see Ruin has gone down, and that is going to be mega for these survivors, because it means that Dino either has to stop and kick or ignore any progress on gens, which they cannot afford to do at this point. If survivors pop one more gem, that's it, and we move into a tiebreaker set. So survivors doing a really excellent job of keeping things moving here. Nadu doing a great job looping. Vicinal just playing out of their minds this set. This is like a totally different team than we saw in the first set. They are playing exceptionally well.
Yeah, I agree, and I was a little surprised to see the performance that we saw from Vicinal in the Ghostface Midwich game, because Vicinal, this is one of their staple sets, the Dredge, and it's not just because Vamp is a good Dredge player. Of course he is, but they have a strong survivor performance versus Dredge 2 that we're seeing right now. So I was a little surprised on a kind of similar indoor set on the Ghostface. They didn't seem like they were fully prepared for it. Maybe they're just not used to playing Ghostface on Midwich. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but either way, we are seeing that Vicinal that's the Vicinal at their peak, as we've seen in some other sets with Dredge. They are so good in this set, and right now, Dino had an opportunity at a couple hooks, but because he is trying to snowball here and get a tie condition, we don't have any hooks. He's just been slugging a lot. There's 0 hooks on the board, and Vicinal has officially achieved their win con. They've popped 3 generators, so this game is officially going to go to tiebreaker T.
I am so thrilled. I cannot express to you how excited I am because I have never had the pleasure of casting a Hag match, and Hag was my first love in DBD. And so I've been secretly hoping that this was going to happen, and I am so excited. And not only that, but what an exciting set this has been, and such a pleasure to watch. Dino going to be doing everything they can to kind of make up for a tough start here. But again, this is going to be our first hook on the board. That's kind of wild with 3 generators done.
Yeah, not only have 3 gens been done before this hook happened, I think that was just luck. I don't know if Dino saw anything in the distance that would have given that away, but I think he just wanted to teleport to that locker, and Vamp happened to be locking it at the same time. So Vamp did get caught off guard a little bit there, little unlucky, and it did get placed on that hook, and that pain resonance was not used. We haven't seen any pain res get used so far in this trial, so nothing to stop those gens regression, and we did see Ruin was already taken care of. So right now, Dino didn't really get any regression out of that, you could say, but we do have 1 hook stage on Vamp and an injury onto Slasher come in as we see Nightfall start. So we are probably going to witness that very aggressive kind of playstyle we saw at the beginning of the game, with Dino teleporting around everywhere, trying to chain some slugs together, make something happen. Right now, it looks like Dino is teleporting around to get some killer instinct and find some information on these survivors, and does spot out 1 person here at this corner. Actually, we see 2 survivors.
2 people.
It's Bronzy and G-Bot, so our Jake and Ace players here, and going to see this pallet get dropped. Bronzy playing their 50s on this pallet. Not quite winning it though, excuse me. So Bronzy will get injured, and Dino's leaving. I don't know. I feel like unless Dino's able to catch somebody off guard, this might be a repeat of the last Nightfall, where the survivors just reset through all these injuries, and it might not accomplish anything.
I'll tell you what, Dino's been doing a lot more damage to the breakable objects in this match than he has to the survivors. And I think that is causing a little bit of trouble. I think if you're hoping that you're gonna, break all their resources, you have to also be hooking survivors, which just is not happening. Vicinal is playing incredibly smart. They have really great body blocks. They're doing all the resets. I don't know. Dino is definitely struggling a little bit in this second half of the set. He is going to get this down here. Are they going to take it? Are they going to slug again? No, they're going to take it. Okay.
Yeah, I think taking this hook makes sense because Vamp has been hooked once, so this will, as soon as Vamp gets put on this hook, that will make it 70 seconds away from a potential elimination. And if Dino's able to get 1 survivor dead before they pop all 5 gens, he can maybe try and get another survivor and hook them far away from the gates, and maybe try and get 6 stages, but good short swing through that pallet, and Bronzy does get hit through it. So a nice little M1 mechanic we see Dino do, and Vicinal wants to make sure they don't have any survivor die. So G-Bot used for the people onto Vamp, and now Vamp is healthy. He can run away or even maybe hide. Maybe he can just play it slow and not get found. And Vicinal is looking at 4 survivors alive, potentially for this whole game. So a good heads-up play by G-Bot, and preventing that tunnel out, I think, is very important right now, because as long as all the survivors are in this game and Dino doesn't have Ruin still available to use, I think it's inevitable we'll see these generators pop.
Yeah, I do think it could take some time, though. I think we could be in for a little bit of a slog fest here. Survivors, they do have their 2 gens left, but with the way that Dino is kind of, not committing to hooks and is just kind of teleporting everywhere and slugging and, hit and run playstyle, I think we're going to be looking at a really, potentially very long end game here.
Yep, I think you're right. Does find Slasher, our Ada player here yet again, and is going to be taking the chase around this pallet. Did see, I don't know who that was. We did see a survivor drop down the hole, break their ankles a little bit, and they are going to be running away. And Slasher does get injured, and Dino is leaving again. He wants to get this value out of Nightfall, teleport somewhere, find somebody, get them off a gen, make something happen. But again, we saw Ruin get cleansed earlier, so Dino's forced to stop for a second and kick that generator. And this also has some good progress. This generator here is about 70%. Dino will lay down a kick onto that, but nothing to regress that even more. We aren't seeing their auras in yellow, so we know we don't have eruption. Probably no pop and play either, because Dino just hasn't been hooking very much. Ruin, Undying have both been taken care of, so Dino just doesn't have really anything to help him stop these gens unless he gets pain resonance. And right now, there are 3 pain res stacks still available, but Dino just isn't committing to these hooks, so I don't know if we'll even see them.
That's the thing is he really doesn't have much to work with in the way of perks, and the one perk that could be giving him some reprieve on this gen progress situation, he's kind of refusing to use, and so that's an interesting choice, I suppose. Is gonna get that tag on the Jake though, and it looks like they are gonna pursue this down on Gbot potentially. But yeah, this is an interesting end game to say the least.
Yep, interesting, and you're right. This is a pretty slow game. Vicinal is taking their time here. Dino wants to short swing and hit Gbot through that pallet, but Gbot calls it out and just sends it through and doesn't even get hit. And Vamp and Slasher are both doubling this gen. Ooh, Slasher does get caught out a little bit. Did run into Dino a little bit there. And that is going to be another hook. And right now, I believe this was the same hook as earlier, and that was a pain res. No, it actually is not the same hook. So that was not a Scourge hook, and pain resonance was not used. So Dino isn't even getting value from it still. I think at this point knows that he's slowly losing control of these gens and just wants to get those fresh hooks. At least so he walks away from this trial with something. But quick unhook onto Ada. Vicinal, I don't think is worried about unhooking that fast. As long as it's free, it shouldn't matter, because it's too late for Dino to try and tunnel somebody out. They know if they unhook fast and he tries to tunnel Slasher, they can just sit on the gens and they're okay. So Dino just in a very difficult spot right now, just trying to make something happen again, but doesn't have that Ruin and doesn't have anything like Eruption. Just has Nightfall and a plan, and I wonder if we'll see that plan come to light here as Nightfall is starting.
So I know that it's not really like this, but have you seen that meme of the 2 guys who are both playing games, and one of them is sweating profusely and the other one is singing "I'm at a payphone"? Have you seen that meme?
Oh yes, I have.
That's what I feel like is happening right now. Is Dino is just trying so hard to get any sort of pressure. Meanwhile, the other survivors are just sitting on their gens singing "payphone" to each other.
You know, that is a funny way of looking at it, but I do think Vicinal, maybe, I don't know what their comms are like now. Maybe they are very calm and collected and they're just chilling. But in these sets, they require so much coordination. I do think that they do have to put so much effort into playing this game how they are. So it is really funny to think of it that way, though. If they are just having a good time playing and Dino is fighting for his life out here, that would be the experience. But Dino just taking what he can get, does pick up Bronzy, and will get pain resonance on that. We do see that score event, so that is minus 20% on the most progressed generator. So that does give him something. That's also hook stage number 4. So Dino is securing some stages in, at least getting a little bit of pain res value. And we've been at 2 generators, I feel like, for so long. These generators have not moved. And Dino keeps coming back and kicking them, but eventually, I mean, there is that anti-3-gen mechanic, so he can't do this forever. But without a lot of perks to help him, slowly, it's a war of attrition. These survivors, I do think, will end up on top and just get these done if they play patient and don't let Dino snowball. But this is the last fresh hook, so Dino's actually maybe getting another pain res here. That is another pain res stack used, so it's another minus 20%. And I didn't expect these downs to start coming in so fast. That's the anti-3-gen mechanic starting. I believe that was regression event number 4 on that generator. And right now, I thought there would be a little bit more progress by Vicinal. And we're still at 2 gens. We did see some regression come in there. And is Dino going to make a comeback here? I don't see Vicinal attacking these generators very aggressively. And they also don't have a lot of pallets left.
I think it's possible. To be honest, I like to think that they're like playing comp DBD and playing pubs DBD are just like wildly different. They are related. They have like some similar ancestors, but in general, they're very different games. This is one of those things that they have in common, which is just that like sometimes you get caught in these slog fests of just cat and mouse over and over. You know, who is going to run out of resources first? Is it going to be the killer who's going to run out of gen regressions, or is it going to be the survivors who are going to run out of pallets? And it just goes on for so long. uh, but I do think that the longer this goes, the higher the probability that Dino can make some kind of a comeback here, because he's just doing a really fantastic job of keeping survivors off these generators. They can't get any significant progress at the moment. So he's definitely making a comeback here.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd see it so late into the game, but now we have two survivors on Death Hook. We have Ada and Hanatu both one stage away from being eliminated, and we're still at 2 gens. I know. Okay, normally I'm a big fan of the way Vicinal played the start of this game. I think at the beginning, especially, I was praising them for it because it was very good, but I think they were being a little bit too slow and they needed a little bit more generator progress. Maybe they reset a little too much. Not exactly sure what their plan was when they were in comms, but still 2 gens left, and now we have a death. Vamp has officially been eliminated from the trial, and now we finally see that 4th gen pop. So that's something, but I don't know. Are we going to see that 5th one done soon? Is this generator being attacked? It doesn't look like it is. So it is about 70%, and I think that's the 5th or 6th kick onto this one. So maybe capping out soon. But I think this could go either way. If Dino pops off here, it could be a 4K1 or a 4K0. But I definitely think this could be a 2-man out. I really curious to see which one we get.
I think we're definitely going to see some outs. The gen spread is not like super optimal for Dino right now. It's not terrible, but it's not great. So I definitely think we could see outs. I don't know that we're going to see 3 people out. We might see 1 person out, maybe 2. But Dino is playing really well and is, like we said, just doing a really great job of keeping survivors busy. You know, checking that generator without getting out of the locker, just making sure that nothing's going on there. Ultimately coming back over to this one that they know they have some progress on. So, but I mean, I don't know. There's still 3 survivors up. So we could just keep playing cat and mouse for another few minutes. I don't know. This, I feel like this could go either way.
I'm not sure if you saw that right there, but Gbot saw Dino Melon put the remnant on the other side of this pallet, and Gbot just sent it and walked through the remnant, which actually made it disappear, so Dino had to replace it. So very nice little chase play by Gbot there. Is going to be injured and run away, but Nightfall is back, so Dino can teleport around the map very quickly, and Gbot is left somewhere on the map injured, but Dino's actually leaving this chase too. Does find the reset. Looks like Slasher was attempting to get a heal onto Bronzy, but it does get interrupted, and Dino will take this tag onto Ada. I think he wants to just stack these injuries and make an endgame 4K possible. Doesn't get this tag onto Ada just yet. Playing very well, going up those stairs, and gonna play some of these 50s on this window. Does actually end up winning it. Dino teleported back, and Ada does get some distance. She will be injured anyways, but that did buy some time. And right now, I wonder if Gbot and Bronzy are doubling that last generator. It looks like they are. Oh, wait, no, is this one person? No, this is just one survivor. Never mind.
They are not. I guess just trying to spread that pressure as best they can.
I don't know who okay, yeah, they were on 2 separate generators, so looks like both of them have a little bit of progress, about halfway or so, but these regression events are starting to kick in. I think both of these gens have like 5 or 6 kicks on them, maybe even more, and Bronzy a little too aggressive on this generator now, and working it injured will go down. That Nightfall and that quick teleport just caught him off guard, and Bronzy is going to be put on a hook. That will be hook stage number 2 for him. And right now, Dino's racking up these hooks. I believe we're already at 7 hooks now, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 8. But we do have a lot of hooks on the board, and Bronzy is already pulled, so he is off the hook, and maybe potentially we're going straight to stack a gen. And Gbot, I think if he doesn't have a good chase here, it could be the end of it. So I don't know what Vicinal has cooking up right now, but Gbot just can't last. All these pallets are gone.
Yeah, man, I will say Dino has made the most of this end game here. And I also just commendable to both teams for really giving it their all throughout the end of this. One, because the win con's already been met, but two, because it's just so tedious to play out games like this. And like, in pubs, you can just kind of give up and be like, you know what, just kill me. Just put me on a hook, get me out of here. I'm done. I want to go next. But in comp, you can't really do that. You have to just keep playing and going as hard as you can. And like major props to both of these teams for doing that. And especially Dino, who managed to make such a comeback. I mean, it's just truly impressive.
Just as you're talking about how both these teams have been playing it out and toughing it through these long games, I think we just saw Vicinal put their hands up and say, I'm done. I'm done. You just down us while we're on this gen. The set has already been decided. Dino, let's go next. We're just seeing them sick of it. They are mentally exhausted from this Dredge game, and I think want to call it quits. And I don't entirely blame them. I know it can be bad manners to do that at the start of a game because it's just kind of unsportsmanlike, but this game has been going on for so long, I kind of understand it.
Yeah, as you say that though, we did just see a hook save. So I mean, they can't be that willing to give it up because they're still rescuing.
Here.
Yeah, but maybe there's some infighting happening here amongst the team. He's like, please.
I think Bronzy doesn't want to play anymore, and maybe somebody else does, and they just can't come to an agreement in their VC. But either way, we have two slugs on the three.
There we go.
3 slugs on the ground. Okay, it looks like they finally agreed they want to go next. They do not want to go against the Forever Dino, and will be just accepting the 4K one. Doesn't matter. They already achieved their win condition.
Can you imagine being that powerful? Being as powerful as Dino is in this moment, that they just gave up the end of a comp game because he's just so ruthless and relentless. Like, what must that feel like to have that strength?
Probably pretty good. And I was actually just about to ask how long has this game been going on, but I saw Rue put in the chat there it's looking to be 25 minutes.
Jesus.
So that is a very long Dredge game here. Dino fighting for these gens and
it's crawling right towards Dino, like, please end it. Put me out of my misery.
Yep, oh, I don't blame him, man. But yeah, you see, I get it. They want to save this mental energy for the final set because that's really all that matters, right? The set has already 100%. Been determined, and we're going to tiebreaker. But regardless, well played to both sides here. Vicinal did a very good job in that early game, making sure they denied a very fast snowball and got those gens done. But Dino strong in the mid to late game there, held those gens. And
all right, everyone, welcome back to this very exciting tiebreaker set between Vicinal and Chads. We are here on Midwich with my girl Hagatha Trapsy, and I am so excited to be casting this match. How are you feeling about it, Contra?
I'm feeling curious because I don't think I've ever seen Hag played on Midwich. I have watched Hag sets sometimes in the past, but they're usually on Hawkins, funnily enough, and I've never seen it on Midwich. So I'm curious to see if maybe these tight corridors and stairways might lead to some advantageous situations for Hag. Maybe not. We'll see. But Dino is setting up a web of traps on this side of the map. We have some underneath them, and then we did see that one next to the stairs, and G-Bot taking the first hit of the game, but I don't think we'll see Dino commit to that. We know that with Midwich as an M1 killer, if somebody gets hit and they just hold WA, it takes a while to catch up. And to make matters worse, Hag is a 110 killer, so Dino will take even longer to catch up in this situation. Does just take that injury, set some traps, but does find a potential reset here, and I think is chasing Ada here, Slasher, and maybe commit. Nope, not committing for a tag. I don't know what Dino's plan here is, Steve, but we have one injury on the board, and he has left the chase.
Yeah, the other thing about Hag is you really do have to kind of set your traps at the beginning. You don't want to be you want to sort of be avoiding setting as you go. In a lot of instances, you want to have like a nice little net where you can catch people. Because like you said, 110 killer, she is a slow queen, and you know, the more time she has to stop and set these traps, the more time she is wasting. Dino, though, going to be going after Bronzy here. See maybe if we can get a quick down. First TP of the game. And I just know that little Rugard is rolling his eyes at how excited I am about this matchup.
He definitely does not share your excitement, but Bronzy does get injured there and is taking his distance away. And Dino, yet again, is leaving Chase here and does want to check up on his generators. And it's been over 2 minutes now. Corrupt Intervention has expired, and we haven't seen really anything happen so far yet. We do have a bit of progress on a couple generators, and we have one injury. But now the chase is coming in to our coming in onto our Kate player. Swingblade here is going to be looping this pallet. Pretty safe against Hag because she is slow, but actually Swingblade getting a little greedy there, playing for a stun, and doesn't quite get it before he gets injured. So he's actually going to hold W, gets through the doorway, and is being escorted to the next room, but actually doesn't need the body block. I wonder if Dino lost him. Is that... Oh, T, I think that was Lucky Break on Kate. There weren't any pools of blood or scratch marks there.
I think you're right.
From them.
Yeah, that is unfortunate to lose that Kate there. So far, Vicinal doing a pretty good job of keeping each other out of trouble, although we did just spy that Kate. You're right, that is absolutely Lucky Break on the Kate here. Kate can be running for her life. Jake just kind of, G-Bot just kind of hanging out at the end of the hallway, too.
Yeah, I think their plan here is to just prevent Dino from getting any a first hook, because if Dino is able to get a hook and put that person in their web of traps, it can be very dangerous. So G-Bot's probably just lurking here to play as support, to make sure that if Swingblade gets in an unfortunate situation, he can provide a body block and give them some distance. And Dino just taking that tag on a Swingblade and maybe continuing this chase onto them, but they do have that God pallet by the stairs as Dino leaves, so they are setting up a trap in the chemistry room upstairs and drops back down. Does spot out some progress on this generator again, so we're laying down another kick here, and so far it's very slow, just like last game we saw. We're seeing injuries and then leaving, and then kicking a gen, and then another injury and leaving, and Dino eventually has to commit to something, and it's just a matter of when will he do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if these survivors are running in pairs, you know, having someone there to kind of trigger some of those traps for you and get them out of the way can be a really big blessing for these survivors. And so far, that seems to be kind of what they've been doing. They've been running in pairs a little bit, like we saw the Kate with G-Bot there. Little bit split up here, but Dino's got to make something happen. Dino has got to get it down here soon. And I don't know how they're going to make it. I don't know how they're going to do it, frankly.
Yeah, I don't know either. Right now, Vicinal in complete control of this game. We have everybody healthy. We already have one generator that's been popped, and nobody's been hooked or anything like that. It's almost like this whole trial has been reset from the start, with everybody being healthy and nobody's in chase, except there's one less generator to do. A couple pallets have been used, but right now, Vicinal doing a very good job. I also think they are aware roughly of where all of Dino's traps are, and they're trying to chase away from it. If they spawned on one side of the map, they know that Dino spawned on the other, thanks to the offerings, and I think they're just trying to avoid running in that area. And we do spot outs. Bronzy actually did run into a trap there. I think tried to crouch, but was a little too late, and does get teleported on. But guess what? See, he had a God pallet, so he dropped it, and now he's out of there scot-free.
Yeah, you know, no one ever said the life of a hag was easy. You know, in pubs, it's nice because you don't know what you're going against. So you don't necessarily have, you know, people coming in with perks or, you know, excellent comp knowledge and how to go against a hag. But I'm seeing now that comp hag feels pretty difficult. Because these survivors just seem to be ready at every turn. It is a little bit slow getting these gens done, but they certainly are getting them done, and they've got plenty of resources to burn as well.
Yep, that is true, and it did look like Vicinal did catch Dino Melon's web of traps. We saw a couple survivors there trying to harass them and wipe them away before Dino pushed them off. So they know what area that might be a little bit sketchy, and they're trying to just harass those traps and making it safe. And until that happens, I'm pretty sure we're just going to see survivors. If they get caught near that area, they're just going to take their hit and run far away, because if they're running away from the traps, there's just no way they go down to this killer. They can literally, I don't even think it's a stretch to say that with a 110 killer like Hag, you could get hit on one area of the map, and then as long as you don't run to a trap, I think you could literally just run all the way across the map and meet up with a teammate for a body block before the Hag catches up. I think that's how slow she is to catch up on a map like this. So these survivors playing it very slow, very calculated, and right now slowly chipping away at these gens. This one now is close to being completed. Dino will kick it, but not very much to help progress it. We aren't seeing it highlighted in yellow, so we know there's no eruption, and that Dino's just eating another pallet. And as you said, the life of a Hag is not an easy one.
Yeah, Dino bringing some add-ons to try and help their cause here a little bit. Obviously, the shackles there, eliminating the trigger notification for survivors when they've run across a trap, and I think it's the orchid necklet or something, and that gives a little bit of boost of speed to setting these traps. But the problem with Hag is if you don't force survivors into your traps, you are never going to get it down. You just aren't. And yeah, I mean, these survivors are doing a really good job. They're calling out these traps. I don't know what Dino's gonna do here. Eventually they'll run out of resources, but will Hag get there in time to take advantage of that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Right now, still some slow play. Again, like last match, we were at 2 gens for a little while, and now we've been at 3 gens for a little while, but we do see the third one pop, so we're at 2 generators remaining, and we know at least one still has a lot of progress. So Dino probably is feeling the pressure right now and is going to continue the chase here. And see, these survivors know how this killer works. See, they see the animation of Dino start to put down a trap, and Bronzy just instantly ran away, and Dino knew that, so he instantly canceled, but still wasn't enough to catch Bronzy before he made the next pallet. So well played by both sides there, but I think that just goes to show how many, I guess you could say, how many holes this killer has in their power. There's just, it's so abusable if the survivors are familiar with how her base kit works. And right now, Slasher actually stealthing out Dino, doesn't get found behind that table, and might just hop right back up on that generator. They could cleanse that trap and be safe as well. So right now, they actually have not cleansed it. They're still stealthing here. Maybe scared Dino will come back, and still no injuries. Everybody's healthy. We have 2 gens left to complete, and if Dino doesn't make something happen soon, I think we'll see this game slip out of his hands.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll be interested to see how this goes when Vicinal is on killer, because I feel like it would be not impossible for this to be the exact same experience, you know? It seems like, I don't know, it seems like not only do you need survivors to make mistakes in a Hag match, you also need luck. Like, you need like some kind of extra magic something to get you a down, because this is, I feel like we're watching a walking simulator. Like, this is just going from room to room, checking it out. Like, I feel like she's a building inspector, right? She's like, no, there's damage here. I'm gonna put a mark down for that. No, there's damage over here. We got to mark that as well. Meanwhile, survivors are just like working away on their gens, walking around every now and then. Yeah, this is interesting.
Yep, property manager Hag maybe is what she's doing right now, because that is the 4th generator that has popped. And I mean, yeah, we did see a few injuries come in, but they've just been reset. We haven't seen a down happen. And Dino does have a serviceable 3 gen here, but he's already kicked these gens at least a couple of times and can't keep kicking them forever. We do know the anti 3 gen mechanic does exist, so he can't do this till the end of time. And even if he could, I don't know if it's enough to like really win in the end, because these survivors they're all alive. In a 3v1, maybe I could see it, but we have 4 survivors alive. They're all healthy, and all they have to do is just wait for Dino to trap and leave, and they just wipe it away. They work the gen, and with good comms, they can leave whenever the killer comes back, and the Dino just can't do anything. Even if they get caught off a little bit and get injured, they can just send another survivor over to support, and Dino can't get it down. It's just that's just the reality, I think, of this killer when the survivors know what the proper counterplay is, and Vicinal is displaying that right now. We still don't have a single injury on the board. We have one generator left, and these survivors, I think, will win this war of attrition.
No, 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 Contra, this is her moment, okay? This is her moment. Something is gonna happen. She's gonna come through. I can't tell you. Now, granted, it's in pubs. I can't tell you how many hag games I have won off of a 3-gen or like off of like 2 generators left, because eventually like you can eke it out, you can make something happen. I believe in her so strongly. I believe in Lisa. She is so capable. She is so strong, and Dino can make something happen, maybe.
Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think so. I just these there's nothing he can do. He keeps kicking it. That's the 4th kick, T. He can only kick that 4 more times until it's over. And did we just see a head on?
Oh my gosh. Why they
Poor
bully
Dino.
her? Why they bully her like this? This is not the high octane hag gameplay I was hoping for. This is so sad. I feel like we're watching a funeral.
Yep, rest in peace to the Hagatha. She is getting a little bullied here, but I do want to say I don't even think this is Dino's fault. He's
No,
doing what
not
he
at
can.
all.
But,
No,
like,
no.
if Dino extends out too far and gets an injury and commits to a down, he might not even get it with body blocks, and they will just work these generators, and he'll lose all the gens very fast. So I think even if Dino played this differently, we wouldn't see a very we wouldn't see a better result. I just think it's so hard to get it down when survivors are coordinated and supporting each other, getting
Yeah.
rid of those traps, body blocking. As you said earlier, we did see them running in pairs a little bit to make sure that nobody goes down and can be hooked in her web. And right now, Bronzy is getting chased in this room. Normally, I would say these pellets aren't the safest. If you win a couple 50s, they could buy a lot of time. But Bronzy actually does end up losing that 50 and is getting injured. But will he go down? Do you think this will be a hook?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Let's go.
First down of the game, baby.
Let's go, baby. That's my girl, Lisa. Yeah. Also, I want to be so crystal clear. I am not knocking Dino at all. This is about Hag. Hag is struggling. Dino is not. Dino is doing everything humanly possible to make this happen. Lisa is struggling. Okay. Yeah, Dino's doing great. I don't want people to think that I'm crapping on Dino. I'm just so sad that she's so awful in this type of a situation. This is so hard. But he got that hook. I knew it was gonna come. I knew it was gonna happen, man. I believed. You were a doubter, Contra. Contra the doubter, but I believe.
Maybe I shouldn't have spoke too soon, but still, even in this situation, all the survivors have to do, that generator to Dino's right, that's upstairs, all they have to do is just have one person sit on that while another person keeps Dino on the hook. And that we did see that exact generator pop while Slasher was kind of just wasting time in the courtyard. And right now, 5 generators have popped. We have 1 hook on the board, and I am a little surprised Dino isn't playing close to this hook, because he does have a teleport on it, but with good comms, the survivors know that it's trapped and shouldn't go down to it. Very good 50 win by Slasher there, just guessing on this pallet. They have to win this and make Dino swing, and just playing these 50s over and over again. Bronzy does get unhooked, and we do hear a make your choice on Swingblade, our Kate player, but not able to teleport there. But second hook of the game. Slasher is going to be put on a hook here, and we do hear an exit gate opened in the distance. And the survivors, I think, have to unhook this, because if they let the survivor die on hook and let Dino walk out of this with 4 stages, I don't know if Vicinal's killer will be able to get 5 in the next game with how this game went.
I believe in my girl. She's doing so great. Sweetie, you're doing so great.
Yep.
2 hooks. I'm so happy. You know what? Honestly, I'm so chuffed about this. 2 hooks is great. In fact, I've heard that in competitive Dead by Daylight, 2 hooks is basically winning. So.
Yep. Yeah, that is true. In this case, I agree. But resets have come through. Everybody's healthy. I think we're about to see a bunch of survivors swarm this hook, but we have traps everywhere. They're going to have to deal with these dinos setting even more at this doorway. And right now, it's a little awkward, but with everybody healthy, I think they could unhook, but they're not. They're actually not unhooking this.
Oh my
I
gosh. What?
huh.
Guys, no.
Uh,
Guys, no. Guys, that's a bad idea, actually. They
okay,
must be really confident in their hag player.
I'm no professional when it comes to hag games, so maybe I could be wrong, but I think it's very risky.
All right, everyone, welcome back to what is sure to be the riveting conclusion of Chads versus Vicinal. This time we have G-Bot piloting Hag, and I am telling you, my girl Hagatha is about to make mince meat of these survivors. I believe it with my whole heart. She is about to show these kings up, and it is going to be phenomenal. You are not going to want to miss it. Contra, am I right?
I hope so. So we can all go home. We've been here for 2 hours. These teams, I'm sure, are also tired. So a quick game with some hag dominance would be nice. I think Rue would also be pretty happy too, because he'd finally be free after all this time. But I digress. We do have G-Bot playing hag here. Did set a couple of traps down. And the start of every hag game is pretty much always the same. I think we're gonna while Corrupt Intervention is still up blocking those gens, we are seeing the hag player set some traps down while they still have that time from Corrupt Intervention, breaking this wall out nice and early. And I do have to say, I'm very, very surprised that I mentioned at the end of the last trial, but I'm very surprised Vicinal opted to not unhook that survivor in the end game and awarded what is going on here? Oh, Jesus. Okay, they awarded Dino 4 hook stages and another injury here coming in. So 2 injuries on the board, T. Do you think this is the start G-Bot needs?
Absolutely. Y'all are doubters. Y'all are haters. But I honestly, oh, come on. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Hang on. I need to
Feels
settle.
110, man.
It's fine. I'm fine. I need to settle down. This is not that serious. This is not even about Vicinal versus Chads for me anymore. This is just about someone playing hag and showing off a little bit and making her feel good about herself.
Yep. So right now, wait, T. Okay, I was gonna say we're about to see hag outplay God Palette, but Dame just held W, so we're not gonna see it happen here. But
let's go.
Anyways, ooh, wait, Z Slasher. I think got caught off guard a little bit there. Maybe tried to wipe away that trap, but did get teleported too. So is going to be taking this vault here into this window. Z Slasher, I think, is calling out to his team. I'm stuck here at McDonald's. I'm at the drive-through window. Help me. Dino helped him. He took that injury after Hack teleported. But
all at once, Contra. They're all hurt. Let's go.
They're all injured. I know. I was just about to say they're all injured. Do you think this is the big hack snowball
this is her moment? For? Absolutely. Dino's going down. Let's go. Come on, G-Bot. Let's go. Thrilling. Right, truly thrilling.
Well, what took Dino 4 gens to do, which was get 1 hook, G-Bot has done at 5 gens. So
that's what I'm talking about.
G-Bot is off to it. You're fine. I understand. This is very excited, but G-Bot is off to a great start here. That's a very stellar early game. In the distance, we see Finesse and Dame are both healed to full health. So we only have 1 injury on the board now, but we have 1 hook stage. And this is what I was talking about. I feel like last trial, they had 2 hooks by the time the last generator popped. And I think if Vicinal went in, harassed those traps a little bit, and as long as they don't make any mistakes and get injured unnecessarily, I think they could have unhooked that, body blocked, and walked away with 2 hook stages. I genuinely think they could have done that. And now G-Bot, if they had done that, G-Bot would have a way easier time here with this game. But G-Bot has to get 4 hook stages to secure this win for Vicinal. 5 hook stages or 4 hooks with 3 freshes. So any of those would be good. But even though I am criticizing Vicinal survivors a little bit for not unhooking that, I think G-Bot might be okay anyway. We have maybe a second hook coming in at 5 gens, which is half of the win condition if we're looking at freshes as well.
I honestly, sorry, I've settled down. I'm back to being a professional. Honestly, I think that G-Bot has a really good shot at this. When I'm watching this gameplay, I'm seeing somebody who has played hag on Midwich a lot because they are choosing some very smart places to put their traps. They're doing them in a lot of corners, in a lot of like heavily trafficked corridors, but kind of off to the side where they might hug a little bit more and underneath these drop downs. And it feels like all of these traps are very, very purposeful, and they are catching people really off guard. So honestly, I think Gbot's got this. I feel super confident that they're going to be able to make this happen. That said, Chads has put on a good show all day, and it is not impossible for them to just completely close this out.
Yeah, this is still anyone's game, but you have to admit, if you're on Chads right now, you might be sweating a little bit because this is not the early game that you want. We have 2 hook stages already given up, and maybe even a third Z slasher going down. I don't know what's happening here. Maybe they're not aware of where these traps are, and everybody on this team should know that you can crouch up to these traps, and the hag is not able to teleport. They won't know you're there. So maybe slasher or ace player maybe just didn't know that trap was sitting up there and accidentally ran into it. And I think this is what happens in these hag games when even if it's just 1 or 2 survivors, if they make a little mistake, it can be a very, very hefty consequence. And Gbot right now is camping Dame to second stage. This third hook stage has now been secured. We have 2 hooks on Dame and 1 hook, I think it was on Dino. So that's 3 hook stages so far, and if we get 1 more fresh hook, that's already win con.
Yeah, we do see 2 gens going for our survivors. Nicely done. Again, I do just think this, to me, reads as someone who plays hag enough to feel comfortable, in where they're putting their traps and confident in their gameplay. Gbot is doing a really, really fantastic job of managing the survivors, of resetting traps as they need to, keeping an eye on this hook as they should, but survivors doing a really great job as well, managing. I think they just decided, you know what, if they're going to stay there, we have to sit and do gens because Gbot's not messing around. Gbot is going for broke.
Yep, it looks like it, and I think we're going to see Dame die on this hook. And if Dame dies on this hook, that's Tycon. And nobody's unhooking this. We don't see any survivor in the courtyard. Nobody can come through this door. And Dame is dead. That's hook stage number 4. We have 4 hooks and 2 freshes, which is exactly what Dino came out of last game with. So now this is a tie. The next hook stage is a win for Vicinal. And I would say this really could go either way. I'm not sure if we're close to endgame, but there are 3 gens left, T. Vicinal is probably feeling very comfy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe, we saw them leave that survivor to die last round, and we were both a little confused on that. But I think they just knew that Gbot could do it, that Gbot is a good hag player and can do it. If you tell me that Gbot has never played hag, I will be so shocked because they are doing the thing. They've got plenty of time to get this done. They can't slack by any means because, yes, hag is still hag, 110 killer, but with 2 survivors in her sights, I think that this win is very tangible.
Yeah, it's possible, but we'll just have to see. Right now, I do want to say that if there's a healthy survivor, I think we saw Dwight or Dino Melon or Dwight player here trailing a little bit to support. That means only 1 person can be on gens, and in a 3v1 that can be a little tricky, but Finesse does do a good job at this pallet, gets that stun, is not going down just yet, and Gbot's putting that trap down. But I mean, yeah, I agree. I think Gbot has demonstrated a pretty solid hag game so far, and maybe hag is Gbot's secret weapon. I don't know. that is very unexpected, but he's performing right now. We have 2 injuries on the board in this 3v1 as well, and we are seeing Finesse greed the heck out of this pallet because I mean she's a 110 killer. I've said that a lot, but she's so slow around these little loops. You can run around it so many
Let's
times.
go.
But Finesse too greedy. Gbot just swings and gets the down. That's win con. I think Gbot's expecting a pallet save because he knows that if he gets his hook, then Vicinal wins.
That's it. I think that this is about more than Vicinal versus Chads. I think this is about lifting Lisa Sherwood up in the rankings and really giving her moment to shine, because we all know that people who play hag are all baddies. you know? And and through the good times and the bad, Lisa's been here for us. And yes, this may not be as exciting as other gameplay, but she is so she has such a good heart, you know? She's just trying her best, and truly I think that that's something that we can all take away as a community, to just, you know, try our best.
Yep, Hag, our beacon of hope, giving us motivation when we need it the most. But honestly, I mean, you're right about that. I think Gbot's looking at a potential 4K here. Finesse is about 10 to 15 seconds away from hitting second stage, but does get saved before that happens. And Dino will be healing Finesse to make sure everybody's healthy in this 3v1. Sloppy Butcher, again, is in play this match, so those injuries will take a little bit longer to heal. And Dino, maybe expecting that ambitious swing through the pallet, does get the stun and avoid an unnecessary injury. But the fourth generator has pop. You know, Z Slasher, we did see at the beginning of the match a little bit around some traps and did get hit a couple times, but has been the gen jockey since. But Dino not aware of this trap at the stairs and is going down, and
That's
maybe another pain res, but I don't know if they have progress.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Cubot has a very good understanding of where effective trap placement can be on this map, because putting traps on the stairs like that, especially where it's really dark, it's kind of hard to see them. And if you can place them such that they can be triggered either through a survivor vaulting or running down the stairs and around a corner, like, you can almost always guarantee a hit there. So Gbot playing incredibly well. I don't know if we see another death here, or if we're going to be looking at 3 outs potentially, but definitely playing really strong.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, okay, I think if Gbot camps us out, the survivors do have enough time to double a gen and maybe get done in time before endgame. And depending on how things go after that, it could be a 3K with one survivor leaving through the exit gate, or maybe a 4K. We'll see. But I do think, even though the odds look stacked against them, we will see this last generator pop. That's my prediction. That generator,
I
Finesse is
agree.
working, has so much progress, and is very, very close to being done. And Finesse getting away from this scary situation, wins that 50, and ends up running down this hallway and just abusing all of these structures. That's what you can do against these 110 killers. He just ran around that little cart in the hallway a few times and just wasted time before using a pallet. And back here in this room, does have this pallet to use and can just greet it a little bit. Does leave because Gbot started placing a trap, but loses a 50 there, and Finesse has gone down again. So that is a hook, maybe right on top of this generator, which would be very good for Gbot.
Yeah, absolutely. Gbot playing incredibly well here. Survivors, like you said, probably, my guess is doubled up. They did get a reset, so everyone is healthy, less the Atom on the hook there. But oh, yep, and they have doubled up on this final gen. They are gonna get it done, and nicely done. And now it's just a matter of getting people out the door. So the question is, do we think everyone's gonna make it out the door?
I don't think so, because Dino and Finesse are both injured, and they can't really take hits for Z Slasher to get out of this gate. And I do want to see it happen already so I can talk about it. Gbot has no ed. Slasher's dead. They're not saving this. They're not saving it. Oh, wait, they
Oh,
cleansed.
no way.
Maybe they were expecting Noed. Okay, I thought they would just
Wow.
open the door and take their outs as soon as they saw Noed, but Dino looks like he was already preemptively cleansing that totem. And Z Slasher's fresh. That is his first hook of the game. So, I mean, this matchup has already been decided. Vicinal will already take this, but I do think Chads might want to reset and just double unhook and try to walk away from this, at least with some more stages out the door. Maybe, you know, just for morale, feel a little bit better. Don't leave Z Slasher die on the hook.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to say both of these teams, though, have played so phenomenally and have each kind of had their moments, right? You know, Chad's really dominated that first set on Ghostface at Larry's. And then Vicinal had a really nice comeback with their Dredge gameplay. And now, you know, I feel like Hag has just kind of become the great equalizer, because she's just kind of hard to play. And I think on any given day, Dino could have had a better result. But I think today was just Gbot's day, and you know, ultimately bringing it home for Vicinal.
Uh-oh, so this is where those webs of traps came into play. Dino dies in the courtyard, and Finesse took an injury on the way to unhook Slasher. So this unhook was definitely not for free. Z Slasher running for his life. I think we're just going to see him leave the trial here and go through the exit gate. But actually may have predicted G-Bot trying to cut him off, and instead is going up that side of the map. Might be looking to pick up Dino Melon. I'm not really sure
Oh,
what the plan is. He's actually hiding here. The exit gate on the opposite side was the one that's open, if I'm not mistaken. So right now, Z Slasher is playing for more. He doesn't want to let Dino and Finesse both die because that would be a lot of stages rewarded to Vicinal. And right now, just crouching, making sure he doesn't get detected by a trap. I don't know if there's one right next to him or not, but playing it safe, does get the pick onto Dino. And right now, Dino and Z Slasher are surely just going to leave, right, T? They're not going to try and save Finesse.
yes.
That's just one hook stage.
No, they go. They have to, right?
They have to go, right?
They have to
Finesse
leave.
is only worth one. There's no way they try and save this. The greed
Yeah.
would be unimaginable.
No, they have to leave. There's no way that they are trying. There's no way that they are trying to get Finesse. Are you kidding me?
There's no way.
Oh.
I can't imagine they would do that.
Oh my
wait,
god.
Uh-oh. Okay. Poor Slasher. Tried his best, but that pallet was trapped up. In the end, it was the exact same. Z Slasher is dead, and Dino and Finesse got out. They tried to save Slasher, reduce the amount of hooks they would give up, but
Let's go,
those
Mori.
traps. Yeah, Hag Mori. But yeah, those traps that G-Bot set up completely fumbled that plan, so it was the same result anyway. But well played to Vicinal for taking this third set. T, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, I think we can all agree that Hag earned a nice snack